Today we're in section 9.6, percent of increase and decrease. All right, you need to know a formula. This is what it all stands for, okay? Percent of change equals the amount of increase over the amount or over the original amount. And we're going to abbreviate it by writing P equals AOC, stands for amount of change, over ORG, which stands for the original amount. All right, so just a shortened way that we can write it. And this is going to be your original problem on all of your questions. This will be your original problem instead of writing the original problem from the book. So let's look at example 1, okay? So in the first example, we're finding percent of increase. So again, tell me what's my formula? P equals AOC over ORG, all right? Amount of change over the original. And the amount of change, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my two values and subtract them. All right, so from 8 to 13, if I subtract those two numbers, I don't care which one comes first, what is 13 minus 8? What's the difference? 5. So that is my amount of change. Like I said, it doesn't matter which value comes first, just subtract the two numbers to find your amount of change. So the amount of change is 5, and what is my original amount? My original amount. From 8 to 13, 8 is my original. And now I'm going to take that fraction and change it to a decimal. 5 divided by 8. 5 divided by 8 is 0.625. And I want you to write the decimal for now. Okay, eventually you'll be able to just convert this part in your head. But 0.625 as a percentage, because remember it's percent of change. How do I write that as a percent? How do I write it as a percent? 62.5. 62.5. And the problem gave it away anyway, but I'm still going to write it. Percent increase. And I'll let you write INC for increase instead of the whole word. Okay, so we can abbreviate that too. So now in example 2, now I'm still finding percent of change, except now my values are decreasing. Well, my formula is still the same. P equals amount of change over the original. So again, I don't care which value comes first. I'm just going to subtract them. From 49 to 35, what is my change? It is 14. I think I got that wrong in the last class. No, I think I wrote 14. All right, so 14. And what is my original amount? 49. Not necessarily the largest, but the original amount is 49. From 49 to 35, original amount's 49. Now change this to a decimal. Put it into your calculators. Did that decimal come out nicely?
Yes.
No, it didn't. It's like keeps going and going and going. So we learned earlier in the chapter that we round out 4 decimal places, 2, 8, 5, 7. And we use the 4th one to round to the 3rd decimal place. So anytime any of these problems keep going and going and going, like it's a repeating decimal or whatever, go out 4 decimal places, round to the 3rd. So now we get 0.286, and it's 28.6% increase or decrease. Decrease. From original to new, my values went down. So it's a decrease, and that's my answer. I will tell you guys that on the quiz and the test, most of the time, the students will get the rounding part wrong, and that's where they miss the points. So just make sure you go out 4 decimal places, and then take that 4th number and round to the 3rd decimal place, and you're good. All right, so now I want you to practice 2 of them. And this is kind of the setup that you're going to see on your homework, quiz, test. All right, it's just, it tells you original and new. Lays it out there real easy for you. Plug in those numbers into your formula, find your amount of change, divide by the original, get your decimal, and change to a percent. All right, so we use our formula. Are you done with the first one? P equals AOC over ORG. Okay, what's the amount of change? What's the amount of change? What is the difference between these two numbers when I subtract them? 12. That's my amount of change. It's not going to tell you what it is. You have to actually subtract the numbers. 12 over what? 16, which equals 0.75, and I can change that to a 75%. Now, is it an increase or a decrease?
Increase.
Because from original to new, my values went up. It's a 75% increase. All right, now try the second one. You've seen the first one worked. Now try the second one. All right, so P equals AOC over ORG. All right, so what's my amount of change?
48.
48. What's my original amount? 60. When I divide, what decimal do I get? 0.8. That's nice. And what's my answer? 80% increase or decrease? Decrease, because from original to new, my values went down. 60 to 12, my values went down. Questions? Anybody get it right? Raise your hand if you got it right. Okay, good. All right, now in example 3, it's not so clear cut. Okay? It says a taco company puts 24 shells in every box. But recently, the company decided to expand the box by 25%. How many shells are in the new box? All right. Okay, so you still have to find percent of change. You're going to use percent of change, but you have to figure out how many shells is 25% of the original. So step 1 is going to be, wait, I heard it. You've got to change your percent to a decimal first before you can multiply. So 0.25, I'm going to multiply by the original amount. 0.25 times the original amount gives me what? So is that my answer? 6? They put 6 shells in the new box? No, what do you think I'm going to do with 6? Well, why would I add it? Because are they taking 6 out? Did they say that they're decreasing the size? Yeah, they're expanding it. 25% more. So that's my hint. That's how I know to add. So I go 24 plus 6 to get my new amount of 30 shells. So just a 2-step process here, guys. If it says that it decreased, then, or that they reduced it, then I would just subtract. But the first thing you have to do is find the percent of the original amount. This is like number 5 on your homework. Number 5, you'll do it this way. Number 12, you're going to do it this way. And I think number 14 too. Okay, so you got a couple problems on your homework tonight. They're going to look like this. And if you understand that, that's everything you need to know for 9.6.